Hello, my name's Ethan. Make sure to check my website, ethanwrenn.com. From there you can find links to all my various socials. We are currently live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Kick.com. So wherever you may be watching, make sure to follow and subscribe if you'd like to get notified when we go live next. The next product we're going to be looking at today, before we jump into that, my website. I have a website, guys. Make sure to go to my website. On my website, I have a blog. I'm regularly updating it with new content. Every blog post has its own unique video that coincides with the content. And at the bottom of the page, you're even able to leave a comment and let me know what you thought. As you can see, we cover a lot of topics from technology, emulation, gaming, finance, the history of various companies we cover here on this channel. So there's bound to be something that interests you. And again, subscribe on YouTube, guys. I've been putting in a lot of work. If you come to this playlist tab, you can see there's a bunch of different playlists that neatly organizes all the content that we do on this channel. We have over 800 videos now. Isn't that crazy? So the next product we're going to be looking at today, guys, is the QUAL iShares MSCI USA Quality Factor ETF. We made this video January 24, 2023. Today it is December 31st, 2023. So it's almost been exactly 1 year since we made this video. So I find it quite interesting to be able to look at some of these videos we made over the past year, because almost celebrating the occasion, again, with it being New Year's, we get to see exactly what we've done over the course of 2023 and how it's performed. So let's take a closer look at, again, QUAL iShares Quality Factor ETF, filmed on January 24th, 2023. All right, so what is the first symbol we're going to be jumping into? This is QUAL. Short for quality, right? This is an kind of a major market index. I don't know if I'd say major, but it is an index. It is an ETF. It's a collection of a variety of different assets throughout North America represented in one chart, right? So as you can see here, QUAL offers a dividend of 1.52%. Now that's pretty good. About that U.S. national average is right in there. It's a little bit below, but it is more than something like a NASDAQ, but maybe less than like a Dow. So it's probably right around the S&P, the Dow range, about on par. What is it that we like about QUAL? So with every symbol we cover here, give me 1 second. Anyways, I have a business email on my website. Make sure you go check that out. With every symbol we look at here, we like to look at the RSI. Right now, we are currently looking at a weekly chart. Always look at the symbol up here next to the ticker symbol right there. It's a W. That stands for weekly. That means every one of these candles is 1 week of time. Now, the RSI is right down here at the bottom. As you see, it goes from top to bottom, quite consistently. It's a pretty prominent indicator. It stands for the relative strength index, right? As you can see, right around that July period, it started to bottom out, touching that 30, which is typically a buy signal, right? This is what you want to see when you are placing your trades. Not only that, it has started to bounce and is actually pointing up from the bottom of the RSI towards the top of the RSI. These are all great signs when analyzing an RSI. For example, the last time this happened would have been March 2020. The RSI came down, touched the bottom, proceeded to point up and run for what was about a year and a half. This symbol, after touching its RSI the last time, proceeded to run for over a year and a half. And in that time, it gained over 100. Note that time frame that I just mentioned. The last time that the RSI was as low as it was when we filmed this video, symbol QUAL, iShares Quality Factor ETF, proceeded to run for roughly a year to a year and a half. Well, since we made this video, it's been about 1 year. 3%. That's massive. Again, this isn't one company we're talking about. This isn't a penny stock. This isn't no Bed Bath Beyond. This is an index, and it represents some of the most reputable names available in the North American markets. We'll cover the underlyings in a moment. The previous time that the symbol has touched down on the RSI would have been December 18th. Oh, my bad. Would have been December 2018, right? Of course. came down, touched the bottom of the RSI. From there, it proceeded to run for over a year and what looks like a month. A year, month, year and 2 months. Again, look at that time frame. The prior time where the RSI was as low as it was when we originally filmed this video, the symbol QUAL proceeded to run for roughly a year and 1 month. And again, it's been about 1 year since we've made this video. And in that time, it gained 42% on an index, guys. That is huge. That is absolutely massive. And we'll just look at one prior example. The time before that would have been 2016. Now, this index started in around July 2013, which makes it in the world of equities, right? It's not that old, but it's been out plenty long enough for all of these indicators to be properly represented, right? We're going to get into some of these other indicators, such as the moving average. We'll get into those in a moment. But as you can see here, in 2016, came down towards the bottom of the RSI. From there, it proceeded to run for almost exactly 2 years. Exactly 2 years. Look at that. From 2016, January, to January 2018. Exactly 2 years. January to January. And in that time, it gained 50%. Not bad. And you got to keep in mind, you are collecting that dividend. What else do we like about the symbol? Well, as you can see here, this blue line represents the 180 moving average. Again, this is the weekly time frames we are looking at. And as you can see here, this index has bounced off this moving average, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. You could even count this, but it's so close to the initial, you guys can't really see that. It's so close to when this symbol was coming to market that we won't count that. But 1, 2, 3, and we are now having it bounce a 4th time. These are not coincidences. This is a type of pattern that we are all familiar seeing across a variety of different symbols in a variety of different countries. Very appealing technical indicators that we are seeing here. Now let's quickly pull up the underlyings for this company or index real quick. As you can see, one thing that I liked about QUAL compared to maybe MGK, the symbol we just covered, make sure to go to the YouTube channel and check out that video. QUAL was a more diversified product than something like MGK. With that, as you can see, it has more balanced coverage across every single one of these sectors. Again, it tries to pick some of the most quality names. Again, it does have some of your mega cap representation, such as Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, all very great companies, right? And they performed excellently over the past year. Again, when looking at things like the Magnificent Seven and how they performed, some of that representation is here. But this product doesn't market itself as like a mega cap or like most desired company product. It again is trying to create a fund that is more balanced across these sectors. Again, 10% consumer cyclicals, 16% financials, 15% healthcare, 10% industrials, 20% tech. So it's relatively more diverse than a product like MGK or even QQQ for that matter. So this is a great long-term hold, for example. I really like this QUAL fund. It's a great product. And these were some of the things that I was commenting on when we originally made this video back in January. And again, it's now December, guys. How do you think this product performed over the past year? This was a very solid recommendation for any potentially new investors looking for a place to get some exposure. Because again, very balanced exposure across all sectors. This is a type of product that you can literally just have this product in your portfolio and feel relatively confident in your investments, which is not something you could say with like the QQQ, which is very tech focused. All right, so I pulled up Yahoo Finance, and these are the holdings, the top 10 holdings of the QUAL index, right, or the ETF, whichever you prefer. At the top, we have sector weightings. It shows the percentage of the various sectors, right? So, for example, consumer cyclicals makes up 10% of their holdings. Financial services make up 16.75% of their holdings. And then we have healthcare making 15.61% of their. And we also have technology making up 19.3% of their holdings, and consumer services making up like 7.46, industrials making up 9.96 or 69. Just to give you an idea. But what are their top 10 holdings? Let's look towards the bottom. Diversify your assets with just one click, right? It allows you to get some of the greatest names that the North American economy has to offer all in one place, while simultaneously being very well-rounded. It's not necessarily skewed into any one direction. It has a little bit of everything, right? And not just any old companies. Again, some of the best companies out there without having to individually grab them all piecemeal, which you very much could do. We will be covering some single stocks here today. One more thing to cover. I think that that's about everything we need to see from this prior video. Again, we made this in January 24th, 2023. It has been almost exact. It has been slightly over 11 months, almost exactly a year. So where do you guys think this product is today? Again, it was at a price point of $119 when we made the video. The QUAL Quality Factor ETF is currently trading at $147.14 with a 52-week high of $148 and $148.02, which also is its all-time high. It is at the all-time high, guys. It just set a new record all-time high. Now, I can't emphasize this enough because 1 year ago when we were making these videos, there was a lot of doubt in the air. There was a lack of confidence coming to the market. People were complaining about things like tech layoffs, and they were just like in pure despair after having gone through an awful 2022, to say the least. Crypto was down, stocks were down, nobody was happy at the end of 2022, having just experienced this. So it was kind of almost pioneer-esque to be sitting at the bottom of this and making videos talking about how great this opportunity is to be scaling in the market. A lot of people were in disbelief, and it makes sense when you look at things like the market cycle of emotions and how when things are high in the sky and everything's great and all these new products are coming out, everyone's very euphoric, and when things are down and not doing well, this kind of shows in people's emotions. So it makes sense. But as you can see, this product, iShares Quality Factor ETF, has performed extremely well during the time frame of when we made this video. Look how direct of a route this was. Again, we're looking at a weekly time frame, so keep in mind every candle here represents 1 week of time. Throughout this period, we had maybe one pullback, two pullbacks, but other than that, every time it pulled back, it came back stronger than ever, continuing to set those new highs. We brought this product all the way from the exact bottom into a new all-time high, guys. This product has never traded at these levels before. Like, this is something you should feel really proud of, right? Like, this is actual growth in the economy. From when we made the video up to its current price point, this is a gain of 23.78%. Not quite the performance that we saw out of MGK or even the QQQ for that matter, but that kind of makes sense because there was a strong outperformance in these tech mega cap companies, and QUAL is a product that really shouldn't be compared to like a QQQ. It should be compared more to like the S&P, because it has this very evenly distributed sector weighting, right? The sector weightings is very evenly distributed, making it a very properly diversified product that you can recommend as like potentially a standalone investment or something that requires minimal allocation in other places. And again, you are getting a dividend of 1.23%. When we initially made this investment, it was a dividend of 1.52%, so they've since lowered that. Interesting. We're really splitting hairs when we're commenting on a 0.3% change in the dividend, but again, that just shows that when we were placing our trades, 1.5%, again, is very solid, and that is something that's desirable that we would have been looking at. Let's look at the year to date. And then we can overlay the S&P 500, for example. So as you can see, let's get a little creative just to make sure. Okay. So as you can see, back when we were recommending the Quality Factor ETF at the beginning of the year, over this time period, it has outperformed and actually beat the S&P 500, with the S&P 500 returning 24.81% during this time frame, while the quality factor ETF actually gave us a total return of 27.81%. That's slightly higher than a 10% performance increase by choosing to hold the quality factor ETF, making this a very solid recommendation, a way for you to potentially outperform the broader stock market, as it has, by having this in your portfolio. Very solid product. I think this was a great investment for any of you who were able to potentially see the video and consider scaling in. It's really just been a great 2023 for equities as a whole. You have Bitcoin having gained massively. You have, again, tech performing extremely well. Europe performed extremely well. Great 2023 looking back at all the numbers. And I really wanted to just highlight some of these successful trades, especially for the people who were able to partake, and just showcase them, because it takes a lot of work getting from point A to point B in some of these investments, and it doesn't go unnoticed. We're all really appreciative. And again, we brought this product into a new all-time high. And if you look at the timing, I want to emphasize the timing. We were right in this candle here, right on that weekly 180 moving average. You saw all the indicators that I used to help identify this in foresight, right? Because that's what really matters. You're always looking at the news, and the news is just reporting what happened over the past day, or it's reporting what happened over the past month, right? But all that information is in hindsight. They're just reporting on things that happened in past tense. And that's not the most useful when you're looking for things that are going to project into the future, right? Like, these are two different types of reporting happening. So when it comes to market timing, there's been plenty of studies that have been done on market timing. Maybe I'll do my whole own dedicated video on market timing in the future. There is an objective metric you can use involving regressions being run on the different returns of portfolios and portfolio managers in order to definitively calculate if a fund manager has market timing abilities. And what you will find when you look at all these studies is that over 90% of fund managers, regardless of index funds, mutual funds, hedge funds, do not possess market timing abilities. So I just really hope that when you guys see these entry points and the way that we're able to ride them for extremely long periods of time. Remember, guys, some people wish these things can happen overnight, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't. I just hope that when you see these entry points, you can truly appreciate what it is you're seeing, because it's quite rare. Again, 90% of fund managers do not possess market timing abilities. And yeah, again, people wish things would happen overnight, but that's just not the case. You want things that are going to continue to grow for very long stretches of time. This is a desirable trait for anyone, regardless of if you're like the world's best trader or the world's best fund manager, or you work a 9 to 5 and you have an extra $100 to $200 a month that you're looking to invest and plan for your future. The qualities in the trades and investments you're looking for are things that you can set it and forget it. Things that will continue to grow without needing to be micromanaged on an intraday basis. The average person is not trying to be a day trader, guys. And I'm really trying to emphasize that. We are not day traders. We are investors. So hold on to that thought. We're going to be moving into our next product. We spent a lot of time on QUAL. And again, thank you for everyone who potentially took part in this.